To be or not to be, that is the question. Or in a more modern style, to use gerunds or to use infinitives, that is the real question. Okay, if sometimes you doubt and you're not sure whether to use a to infinitive or a gerund ending in ing, then stay watching, this video is for you. Question: if you want to say dejó de fumar, would you say he stopped to smoke or he stopped smoking? In this type of situations, many times we hesitate, we're not sure because both of them sound right. Okay, I'll give you another example. I can't afford to buy a house, buying a house. Now, how do we know which option is correct? The right options are he stopped smoking and I can't afford to buy a house. Now, how do we know? What is the secret? Okay, let me tell you this. In Spanish, everything is so simple because for us, everything is to plus infinitive. For example, él dejó de fumar. No puedo permitirme comprar una casa. Okay, so everything is in the infinitive. However, in English, when we have two verbs together, okay, we need to decide if the second verb goes in the to infinitive or if it goes in the gerund form ending in ing. And there are some rules for that. That's what I want to show you today. Okay, first we're going to start with those verbs that are followed by a gerund, okay? I remind you that a gerund is a verb ending in ing, okay? Corriendo, jugando, bailando in Spanish, okay? Okay, case number one is we use a gerund when that verb is the subject of the sentence. For example, if you say, swimming is good for you, or smoking kills, okay? Those two verbs are the subject of the sentence, and that's why we cannot say to smoke kills, or simply smoke kills, okay? We need to put it in the ing form. Let me show you some more examples on the screen. Case number two, we use gerunds always after prepositions. What are prepositions? They are words such as in, on, from, by, with, etc. Okay? So every time you have a preposition, pay attention because if it's followed by a verb, you would have to use it in the ing form. Let me show you some examples. We need to say, I took a nap after eating. Okay? So we don't say after eat, but after eating. Right? The second example, before arriving in Rome, I met a friend. So we say before arriving, okay? Because before is a preposition. And the same thing with number three. I always dream about winning the lottery. Why? Because about is a preposition. Number three is the trickiest part, okay? Do you remember these long, boring lists that you had to memorize when you were younger, okay? Here are specific verbs that are always followed by a gerund, okay? They are verbs such as admit, avoid, can't stand, can't help, deny, enjoy, fancy, finish, imagine, involve, mind, miss, suggest, okay? They are a little bit difficult to memorize, but if you watch this video until the end, I'm going to help you on how to memorize these verbs and to help you with this horrible list, okay? Now, examples of these specific verbs are I can't stand cooking, for example, or I miss running in the mornings, okay? So remember, every time you find one of these verbs from this list, okay, pay attention because the verb that is followed, okay, the verb that is right after that verb is going to be in the ing form. Case number four is the sense verbs, okay, or any verbs in connection with the senses. For example, verbs such as feel, see, watch, listen, hear, notice, observe, okay, any of those verbs. So if you see any verb followed by another verb, okay, remember that the second verb needs to be in the gerund form, needs to end in the ing form. Let's have a look at some examples. So we can say, I watched the people walking around. Why? Because watch is a verb of the senses. And the second example, I could smell something burning. Because smell is a verb of the senses, we need to use burning and not burn. Right, so we finished with section 1, so we finished with all the verbs followed by an ing form. Now we're going to continue with the second part, which is all the verbs followed by a to infinitive, okay? Let's take a look at case number 1. Case number 1 is when you have an adjective, okay? Words such as happy, big, small, difficult, etc. Okay? So every time you have an adjective and a verb right after, remember that you must use the to infinitive. Let me show you some examples. So we have it's easy, easy is the adjective, to meet people. Or we are happy to see you here, okay? Happy is the adjective. And I'm excited, another adjective, to hear about the news. Okay, so remember, adjectives are always followed by a to infinitive. Case number 2 is probably one of the trickiest points of grammar for Spanish speakers, which is the purpose, the purpose infinitive. So what is the purpose? The purpose is the objective of something or why you're doing something. For example, if you want to say in English, right, I went to the shop. Why did you go to the shop? Well, I went to the shop to buy milk, okay? To buy milk is the purpose, okay? The intention or the reason why you went to the shop. So every time we are expressing a purpose, we must use the to infinitive, okay? Para comprar leche in Spanish, okay? Why do you go to the gym? You go to the gym to get fit, okay? So we would need to use the to infinitive in those cases, right? Number 3 is probably the most dreaded long list of verbs. Again, here we go. Before with the to infinitives, we saw specific verbs that are always followed by the to infinitive, and with the gerund is the same, okay? The only thing is that the verbs are of course different, okay? But the verbs are, for example, verbs like agree or appear, can't afford, can't wait, decide, expect, happen, help, learn, manage, need, offer, plan, pretend, promise, refuse, teach, tend, want. Okay, so if you have another verb right after these verbs, the second verb needs to go in the to infinitive form. For example, I can't afford to buy a house. Okay, or I decided to stay at home, right? And then under no circumstance could we say I decided stay at home or I decided staying at home, okay? It must be with a to infinitive. But remember, if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to help you to make all this long list business a little bit easier, okay? So make sure you watch it till the end. Now, and what happens with common verbs such as like, love, prefer, or hate? Well, this is a little bit of a controversial topic, okay? But let's say that after these 4 verbs, okay, we could use any of the 2 forms, okay? We could say, for instance, I like skiing, or I like to ski in February or March, okay? So basically we could say either of them, okay? Both of them are fine. Although the to infinitive version is more common in American English and it's a little bit more specific than the one with the gerund, okay? But really, you should be fine if you used any of the 2. Remember, this is important. If we use prefer in the negative, we must use it in the infinitive with to. So for instance, if you had to say, I prefer not to write by hand, okay, you must use not to write by hand, okay? You couldn't say, I prefer not writing, okay? That wouldn't be correct because it's the verb prefer and it's in the negative. Good news, there are some verbs that it doesn't really matter if we use the infinitive of the gerund because the meaning would stay the same. What verbs are these? They are verbs such as start, begin, or continue. You could either say she began to run or she began running, and the meaning would be absolutely the same, and both options are completely valid. So practice time. Don't think that this video is going to be just me talking and you listening and getting bored, okay? Now is practice time, okay? I'm going to show you now on the screen some examples of sentences that are wrong, okay? I want you to have a look, pause the video, okay, and think or write down the correct solution, and then continue with the video, and then we'll see the answers together, okay? So you can pause the video now. Right, ready? Okay, let's take a look at the answers. So number 1 should be, nowadays it is easy to listen to news about recycling, okay? Because you have the adjective easy, so remember that adjectives are followed by the to infinitive. Number 2 should be, recycling has many advantages. Why? Because recycling is the subject of the sentence. Number 3, I suggested calling a taxi, because suggest is one of those special verbs that are followed by a gerund. Number 4, I don't mind, it should be, I don't mind working late at night, okay? Because with the verb don't mind, it's always followed by a gerund. Number 5, it's difficult, since difficult is an adjective, to speak English. Number 6, I want to go to the cinema, because want is a special verb always followed by the infinitive with to. Number 7, I needed, again, to do the shopping, okay, because need is a special verb that goes with infinitives. Number 8, they are experts at, and at is a preposition, so we need to use creating music. And finally, number 9, I enjoy playing music in the car, because enjoy is always followed by the gerund. So how did you do? Did you do good? Okay, don't worry, because at the end of this video I'm going to leave you, okay, extra exercise to keep on practicing. Right, so far so good. Until now we have seen specific verbs that are followed either by the to infinitive or by the gerund ing. However, there are some verbs in English which can take both forms, okay, but the meaning would be different, okay? So for example, we have the verb to try, and if try is followed by the to infinitive, okay, the meaning is completely different to the one when it's combined by the ing gerund. I'm sorry, but let me just explain it for you. So take a look at this example. Anna tried to change her ticket, but it was impossible, okay? Tried to change, okay? Infinitive plus to. Try means here to make an effort, intentar hacer algo, okay? I'm going to try to call you tomorrow, okay? I'm going to make an effort to do something, okay? However, take a look at this other example. For instance, Thomas tried mixing detergent with alcohol and everything exploded, okay? So when you use try plus ing, okay, the meaning is to make an experiment, como probar algo in Spanish, okay? So it's not intentar algo, sino probar algo, okay? It's you making an experiment to see what happens. And then you would use try plus ing. Right, the second verb is the verb remember, okay? Depending of using the to infinitive or the gerund, okay, remember changes its meaning. For example, if you say, I need to remember to water the plants, okay? I need to remember to water the plants is because that action, to water the plants, it's something that is my responsibility and I have a plan of doing that, okay? Or I must remember to call my mother, okay? Because it's her birthday. It's my responsibility to call her, okay? Es acordarse de hacer algo in Spanish. However, when you say remember an ing, you are referring to a memory that you have in your brain about something that happened in the past. So for example, do you remember meeting Anna? Do you remember the moment in the past when you said hello to Anna in the past? Okay, es como recordar algo. For example, if you've had an accident and you completely went blank, your memory is gone, but you say the only thing I remember is I remember talking to the policeman. It means that you have that memory in your brain of you speaking to the policeman, okay? It's not, I need to remember to talk to the policeman. No, I remember talking to the policeman. So I have a memory from the past in my brain. Another verb that changes its meaning is the verb to go on. Okay, to go on when it's followed by a to infinitive means to change the activity. For example, the professor started talking about or giving a general introduction on the topic, and then she went on to talk about the consequences. Okay, she went on to talk means she changed the activity. She finished with the introduction and then she changed with the consequences, ¿ok? Entonces es como si dijéramos en español y entonces pasó a hablar, ¿vale? De otra cosa, because the activity is different. However, if you say to go on, ing means to continue, ¿ok? No. Sorry to interrupt. Go on talking, ¿ok? Go on talking means continue talking, all right? So go on plus ing means to continue. Last verb is to stop, ¿ok? To stop when it's followed by a to infinitive means to stop one activity to do another. For example, we were driving on the road and then we stopped to have a drink. Okay, so we stopped driving and then we did something else, which is to get a drink in the gas station. Okay, but if you say I stopped driving, it means that I stopped that activity, I quit that activity. Okay, so then in the future I never drove again. Okay, so I stopped driving means I quit driving, or I stopped smoking means I quit smoking. I stopped that activity altogether. Good, we reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for staying until the end. Now, my word is my word, and I told you that I would help you with all these ridiculous long lists of verbs, gerunds, infinitives. This is a nightmare. Okay, so make sure that you go to the description box below and click on the links that I left for you so that you can practice at home in a much more entertaining way. Okay? There is no use in memorizing verbs with no meaning, in no context, okay? It's always better, okay, to play games, to do interactive activities, okay, to really keep those verbs in your memory, okay? So do that, practice at home, okay? And make sure that you read a lot, you listen a lot, so that every time you hear one of these verbs, you would go, ooh, this doesn't sound right, okay, whenever it's incorrect, yeah? So make sure that you read, you are in contact with the language, and then it will just come easily, all right? Thank you so much. If you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe it, activate the notification, and follow me on Instagram where I upload short videos as well to help you with your English. Thank you so much and see you very soon. Bye!